It's a football Saturday in the SEC. Here is the starting lineup. The man with the golden voice, sports savant, Kip Keefer. One of Birmingham's all-time most multi-talented, iconic broadcasters, Tony Curry. Four-time champion Paul Feinbaum show caller contributor, the legend. The illustrious First Lady of SEC football, Terry Quillian. Award-winning national sports handicapper from Las Vegas, Case Keefer. And now, let's talk football.
Woo, dog, he's taking a deep breath, man. It is week number 2 of the starting lineup. Along with Kip Keefer, I'm Tony Curry. We got a monster show for you today. Of course, getting ready for the Oak State Arkansas game, top of the hour, 11 o'clock. We got the legend here, special going on with him. He's got a special guest in the house.
Really
Case
special.
Keefer going out in the desert. We got Terry Quillian. We got our best bets. We got our dogs barking. We're going to see if we can get a little better on those. I didn't do too well on mine. You did fantastic on yours. K4wins.com, our website. 31-12 the first 2 weeks we've been up. 22-8 last week, and of course a racket of games here on ABC 33-40. That, man, it's been unbelievable. And by the way, I want to mention we have new sponsors. People are jumping on this show because they know it's a great lead into that 11 o'clock game. But I want to thank Woodhouse Day Spa, Southern Precision Staffing, Spy for Rent, and of course Teresa Autry at Exit Realty. All those fine folks jumping on board the starting lineup, saying we want to be part of that big show.
We are going to get it rolling here by revealing our weekly feature. Here they are, everybody, the marquee matchups for week number 2. Let's start with the Texas Longhorns in the Big House against the Michigan Wolverines, 2 of the blue blood programs matching up. It's going to be awesome. In the SEC, the first league game of the season, the conference season starts with the South Carolina Gamecocks at Kentucky, and then you've got 2 other interesting matchups. Both ranked teams. Tennessee goes to North Carolina to play North Carolina State in the neutral site of Charlotte. I don't know how neutral that's going to be. And the other game, down on the plains, the Auburn Tigers take on the California Golden Bears. That's our marquee matchups. It's going to be a fantastic week, too. Tony, what grabs you about these marquee matchups?
Obviously, everyone looking at the top 10 matchup between Texas and Michigan. I couldn't really tell a whole lot about Michigan last week. They were only up 10-3 at halftime against the Fresno State squad. I had them over, their team total over. It didn't even come close. They win 30-10. And then, of course, Texas, fantastic. Concerned about their running game, a little bit blue. And, of course, Gibson, their 2 running backs, they averaged over 5 yards per carry, so they came out. So I'm going to leave that one alone. But I am looking at that Tennessee-NC State game. I think that's a really interesting. Nico, I am going to leave you the quarterback for Tennessee. He goes 79% completion rate, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. And NC State had a rough time with Western Carolina. Come on, they allowed 361 yards, over $150 on the ground. That NC defense looked shabby at best, and Tennessee will put up 80 against somebody this year. I'm telling you, that's how good this offense is. I'm looking at Tennessee, NC State. How about you?
I'm always intrigued by ACC, SEC matchups. ACC is kind of like the pugnacious little brother that just won't shut up. And the SEC generally pretty much puts them in their place. They started off last week 2-1 against the ACC. The only loss was the shameful performance by Sunbelt Billy and the Florida Gators against Miami. They got boat raced in the swamp.
Unbelievable.
But we've got 2 SEC, ACC matchups, and you might look at that and go, Kip, have you been imbibing this morning? No, that's not the case, because you know that, first of all, Tennessee-NC State is a classic matchup, but the other one that you may not realize, down in Auburn, California is from the Atlantic Coast Conference now. They play Auburn in a very interesting ACC-SEC match. We got to get used to this whole new world of college football.
What a weird world.
It absolutely is. We got Legend and his special guest who he'll introduce. We're going to find out what they're looking at in the marquee matchups. Take it away, fellas.
Oh, the Beatles are back again, K-Dub and the Legend. What we think about the marquee matchup is Texas. You got SEC on your jersey. Don't mess it up. What do you say, K-Dub?
Ain't no time for embarrassment. Texas, you're going down there representing the SEC. Do what's right. Take care of these Michigan Wolverines. They're not who they think they are, but they are who we think they are, and that's a no one. So they should go and handle business, Legend. What do you think about that?
Hey, I know what I think. It's time to kick it out to Case Keeper, Texas! Don't you disrespect the SEC.
Thanks, Legend. Now, when these games opened in the betting market, Tennessee versus NC State was painted as the most competitive of all the marquee games. I know it's changed a little bit now. It's neck and neck with Texas versus Michigan. But either way, I don't agree. That is absurd with me because on paper, the Volunteers have the Wolfpack completely outgunned. Just from a talent perspective, I look at this game a lot like I looked at Georgia versus Clemson last week. You saw what ended up happening in Atlanta there. I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens at NC State. Look, it's one game. Anything can happen. Some people worry about a team going on its first road game, but there are tiers to this. Tennessee's way better than NC State, a team I wasn't that high on going into the season, didn't understand the hype. I certainly don't understand the hype now that they struggled with Western Carolina. They could throw a great effort, and Tennessee should still roll here. Let's go to Dallas now and see what Terry has in store for us.
Thanks, Case. For my marquee matchup, I've got Texas at Michigan. A lot is being made about this game being played at the Big House, and I agree. The Big House seats 107,000 fans, and it's certainly a storied stadium. But you know what? The Longhorns play at Darrell K. Royal Stadium in Austin, and that seats over 100,000. So I don't think the stadium or the crowd are going to be intimidating the Longhorns. The big difference in this game, I think, is going to come down to quarterback play. While you've got to absolutely love the story of Davis Warren, the quarterback for the Michigan team. I mean, the kid has beaten cancer. On the other hand, you've got Quinn Ewers at Texas, who's just simply more experienced and a really strong Heisman candidate this year, being backed up by Arch Manning, who looked pretty good in his debut last week. So I'm sticking with the Longhorns, and I think they'll make that 6.5-point spread.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where a spin could turn dreams into reality. Meet Sammy F., who just won over $70,000. And Orlando P., hitting the jackpot with a whopping $100,000. Feel the thrill of winning and join the Dance of Champions.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Your chance to be the next big winner is here at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Each year, significant funding from entertainment dollars generated at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino and distributed by the Birmingham Racing Commission provides significant revenue to some of our community's most vital resources. And one of those exemplary institutions is historic Miles College, a true foundational pillar of academic opportunities and excellence. Recognized as among America's most outstanding HBCU institutions, Miles College, an annual statutory recipient of funding from the Racing Commission, utilizes those proceeds to assist in providing invaluable education and resources in a variety of fields of study. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, paying off for Alabama.
Oh, we're here in the Legend Cave, ladies and gentlemen, where few men have ever stepped. Talking about Tupac, Elvis, Ronnie Van Zant, and a man that's always welcome in the Legend Cave because there's no legend without this man. Man, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the one, the only DJ K-Dub in the house. The Sons of Salmon, baby. The Sons of Salmon.
I'm back like I never left, man. I never left, man. I just been quiet. But I'm here now, and I'm ready to go, Legend. Let's do this, man.
Let's do this. K-Dub, let's break it down. Last week, Alabama put a foot in Western Michigan. The first coach in Alabama history to have a shutout in his first game. What was your impressions of the Tide and Coach DeBoer in that first week, brother?
Well, I was interested to see what the defense would do, and I was very pleased on what I saw from the defense. We had a lot of guys rotating in and out in the first and second quarter in the defensive back, so it's giving us a lot of depth. So I was most impressed with the defense.
Well, I want to tell you something, K-Dub. I was too, brother. What did you... It looked like somebody got in the weight room down there or something. Did you see? Looked like Campbell looked like me and you last year. Now he's looking like Mr. Atlas out there this year, man. Did you notice that last week? Them Alabama players look buff, brother.
Hey, man, those guys are taking care of their bodies down there. Not saying that they wasn't before, but it's a different thing now. It's a new wave, as Mr. Ryan Williams would say and Mr. Bach would say. You know, it's a new wave going right now. And the new wave is Kalen DeBoer, Alabama. It's still SOS, but the standard is still the same. So it's still outstanding. That's what SOS standing for these days. Still outstanding.
I knew he'd come up with something. He like me. He gonna let the Sons of Saban go. We still love you, Nick, but we moved on. You know, sometimes relationships break up, K-Dub. How did you feel when Nick left us? I was in a padded room for a week, brother. How about you?
Between me and you, I'm not gonna. I know no one's listening, but I cried a little bit. I cried, man. It wasn't. No, I can't believe it. It wasn't a weeping cry. It was just one or two tears did come down. Hey, the man's did a lot for me, and I love the guy. Sons of Saban forever, man. But now we're on to the new wave right now.
Now, K-Dub, let me talk about Ryan Hollywood Williams. You know, everybody was worried when Mr. Bond 007 went up there and got a Maserati and took all that money up there. We was worried.
Took the bag and ran. He took the bag and ran on us.
Yeah, like Cam. You remember Cam? You remember the bag man. The bag man's loose again. But what did you think of Ryan Hollywood Williams? Are you excited? 17 years old.
17 years old. 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, over 100 yards. Hey, what kind of debut is that? That sounds like a fantastic debut in Bryant-Denny Stadium. So I think the sky's the limit. I think I don't want to put too big of expectations on him, but he's looking like a young Amari Cooper out there to me.
Ooh, I like that.
He's looking like a young Amari Cooper. When Amari Cooper came in his first couple of years, his first year, that's what Ryan Williams looks like to me.
Ooh, I'll take that. Now we got South Florida coming. I don't know about you, but if there's one team on the schedule that I would just like to curb stomp, it is South Florida. Am I wrong, or do you feel that way too, bro?
Yeah, we owe them. We owe them. Even we beat them last year, but we didn't beat them like we supposed to, because if we don't put a foot in someone, everyone thinks we lost.
Yeah.
If we don't put our foot up someone's butt, you think we lost.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you this year on who's your daddy, who's gonna always be your daddy, and who's running this whole college football scene in this Alabama.
Man, there's Coach Freeze on the phone calling me again. Every time I turn around, Coach Freeze trying to get some information about me, man. Trying to get some information on me. K-Dub, before we get out of here, man, I understand a special time is coming up in your life, the 100th straight game, home game that this man has attended, brother. Tell us about it.
South Carolina week will be my 100 straight home game consecutive. I've been to all of them, from the San Jose States to the La Monroes to all of them.
Tebow crying.
So this year, the 4th game of the year will be my 100th game, courtesy of ATEX Tickets. Got to put them out there. I love them.
We love you,
ATEX Tickets, Steve down there. Those guys have been blessing me throughout the years to keep me at these home games, and I appreciate them guys. But yeah, 100 is coming up, and I want you guys to come celebrate with me.
Hey, me and K-Dub going to be down there for the Georgia game. K-Dub got to get out of here, brother.
Let's go.
Love you, man. The original Beatles, the original Fine Ball Beatles, the greatest tag team in radio history. K-Dub and the legend back together again, sports history. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the legend and K-Dub. Plum Sports Insane.
Roll Tide.
The Legends always got Alabama covered there from the old cave, so we've got the rest. UAB and the Auburn Tigers. You just mentioned the Auburn-California matchup. Very interesting this weekend.
Yeah, you know, I'm not disrespecting Alabama A&M, but come on. We had Auburn callers. I'm glad there's so much excitement. They're saying, I don't care who we played, we look great. But California's got a legitimate defense. These two teams played last year out west, and it was a slugfest. Neither team really did much offensively. Auburn finally found a way to win the game at the end. But there's a lot of anticipation for this game, and it's going to be a good test to see if Auburn was just kind of a flash in the pan offensively, or are they the real deal? And California, who knows? It's a weird environment for them to go into Jordan-Hare. They might be kind of mesmerized, because let me tell you something. It gets loud at Jordan-Hare. The Cal Bears, the Surfer Boys may not really be into that, but we'll see. It's going to be an intriguing matchup, and as I mentioned in the open, it's an SEC-ACC game, as bizarre as that is. What about the Blazers? They're going on the road this week.
Very interesting storyline going on here. Of course, a couple years ago, you had Brian Vincent, the interim coach. He was filling in for Bill Clark after he left. He, of course, was up for that head coaching job. He's in the office, and then this guy named Trent Dilfer comes in, takes the gig, and so they're there together. together.
Oh, man.
So Trent's sitting in the corner. He's like, that's your desk. You have it till next season. You got it. And so they had to kind of work together. Well, he ends up going to New Mexico. And then, of course, he gets hired for the ULM job. Brian Vincent does at Law Monroe. He took 18 UAB administrators, coaches, players with him.
Cleaned house.
Cleaned the cupboard. So there may be a little payback here. There were some firewalls that were taken down. UAB is only favored by 13.5 in this game on the road. And here's the number that really gets me. The last 3 games now, UAB has put over 500 yards of offense up. If you go back to next year, they did 517 this past weekend. They are 1-6 since they brought football back in game 2s since 2017, and all of those games on the road. 1-6. The only game they won was a game against Akron on the road. So we'll see if Trent Dilfer can get his first road victory this weekend at ULM. And of course, a little payback against one Bryant Vincent, who basically just robbed the whole place.
Wow, who knew?
Left the cupboard bare, man.
Bad blood in Monroe, Louisiana today. Yeah. This is going to be fun. I want to talk real quick about, we love doing the starting lineup, but we also have a couple of great radio programs that feature a lot of our cast of characters. It's on this morning. I hope you were able to catch it. From 8 to 10 on Saturdays, it's Kip and Terry Game Time. We go all around the SEC, talk to all kinds of experts, take your phone calls on your way to T-Town or down to Auburn or wherever you might be. It is a fantastic brand new show, 8 to 10 every Saturday. And then, of course, on Sunday, our staple program, The Morning After. Mm-hmm. You saw DJ K-Dub in the Legend Cave. He's one of the guys that put us on the map, made us a legitimate show 8 years ago when he started calling our program, and we're going strong ever since. So do not miss it. It's your first chance every weekend to talk about what you saw on the field on Saturday and get our takes on all the games, the coaches, everything that happened. So the great combination, the starting lineup, Game Time, and The Morning After, your perfect formula for a great weekend. And if you do have to miss a show, I want a note from your doctor, but you can go to kqshows.com. You get a link to everything we do. You can see it instantaneously right with a touch of your finger. So remember, we've got a whole group of great shows, and Tony, I know you're going to talk about some of the great people that help make this possible.
We do. We have a lot of people that are watching the starting lineup every single week. They've been doing that since last football season.
Love the helmet.
I know the helmet. I look like a total dork, right?
No, it's awesome.
I'm afraid if I take it off, it's going to destroy my glasses, so it's going to have to stay on to the end of the segment. But we do have some great sponsors, including, of course, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Stuart came in here. I was going to give you a full-down rub-down a couple weeks ago. GM knows
ABC didn't want to lose their license.
They know who we are now. But Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Southern Precision Staffing, he does our injury update every single week here in the starting lineup. 205-682-2828, where your word and your handshake still means something. Kai Gregory, of course, part of that K4Wins.com website. He does a great job at picking ball games 9-0. Spy for Rent. We had them in the studio past week. Mm-hmm. Jeff and, of course, Corey, they do wonderful work. If you're looking for a private investigator, you may be surprised the kind of stuff they do as far as in bug scans. They do stuff for divorces, child, whatever it is.
They can't steal signs anymore because there's transmitters in the helmets.
You're probably right. And they're probably a little busy at being an election year. Spy4, the number 4, rent.com, Spy4Rent. And our newest client, and I love this lady, Teresa Autry. She's with Exit Realty. Nice. She started a brand new show called Home Field Advantage. It runs every single day of the week on the TKR app. Right now, the homing market is just weird. We're about 12 or 13 million homes short. People are paying more for rent than they are for their actual mortgage. Something's wrong. She's going to make sense of all of it and let us know when the rates are going down, when it's better to get out there and start buying a home again. She's with ExitRealty.com, ExitRealty.co. Check her out. It is Teresa Autry. And those are just some of our great sponsors we have here in the starting lineup.
Time to go to our man in the desert. Case Kiefer's got his picks for this week. Here he is.
Hey, it's Case Kiefer coming to you from Las Vegas once again, coming off a great Week 1 slate. I hope you're reading my column at LasVegasSun.com or signing up for the newsletter, Talking Points, where I pick every football bowl subdivision game every week. And we had a great Week 1, as I alluded to. 23-13-1, but of course here on the starting lineup, as I portended, picked the wrong games to include, only 1 and 2 here on this Vegas Heaters segment, but I liked the way we set it up so much. I can't go past this format without at least getting a 2-1 or a 3-0, so we're going to go with the same 3 picks this week: a big favorite, a big underdog, and on a big game, and hope for better results. Let's start with the big favorite, the only place where we hit last week, and I'm staying kind of local again. I will give myself a little pat on the back. I can't count it as a win, but I said in the opening segment last week that I favored USC over LSU for one reason. I liked their skill players, their weapons better, and I really think that's what you ended up seeing transpire at Allegiant Stadium. Both Garrett Nussmeier and Miller Moss looked fantastic at quarterback, but Moss just got a little bit more help. His receivers were outstanding. Kyron Hudson with 2 of the best catches you will ever see. As an aside, he's a Mater Dei product. Tonight, Mater Dei versus Bishop Gorman in the game of the century as far as high school football, the 2 defending national champions, number 1 versus number 2. That should be big in LA. But anyways, I'm getting past the point. USC's whole team is Mater Dei guys. You saw how good they looked. I'm sticking in LA. I think in a different part of the city, USC is going to roll tonight against Utah State. You think they had better skill guys than LSU? Well, they have much better skill players than Utah State, who's kind of rebuilding this year under a new coach. Blake Anderson fired for some impropriety in the spring. They have Spencer Petras, if you remember him from Iowa, in at quarterback. That doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in me. Their defense doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence. USC spoke about how happy they were to be going home and getting to play in front of their home crowd. Now with a little bit of hype for a season where there wasn't a whole lot. They had a win total of 7.5, but they knock off LSU. I think people are excited now. I think USC is going to want to put on a show. I know the number's up to -28, even higher than that some places. I think that's okay. If you're going to lay a big favorite this week, save your bullets for the end of the day. I like USC -28. Now to the other end of the spectrum, the big underdog. Let's go all the way to the East Coast where Charlotte is taking on North Carolina. And let me tell you, I was not impressed at all with the Tar Heels on Thursday night of week 1. They did not deserve to win the game with Minnesota at all. You look at some of the post-game win expectancy numbers, which kind of takes the production of both offense and defense and a bunch of factors in. They only had a 17% chance to win that game, and it makes sense if you watched it with your eyes too. 2 short missed field goals, otherwise Minnesota would have won. Now I think North Carolina gets even worse with Max Johnson, their quarterback, out for the year. Not a huge drop-off to Connor Harrell, but I do think he is a little more boom or bust, and I'm hoping it is bust today. I'm going to take Charlotte +23. Look, the 49ers aren't great or anything, and they actually saw the betting market move against them in a big way last week against James Madison when Biff Poggi came out and said half of our starters are hurt. He supposedly was running a really physical training camp, and it came to backfire. However, once he went into the game, dove into the actual stats, the play-by-play, it seemed like he was exaggerating a little bit. They only had 3 or 4 guys out. None of them seemed long-term. They could be back. Who knows? Maybe he was even holding them back for this game because this is huge for these kids to get to play against North Carolina. A lot of them passed over, of course, by the big in-state school. I think Charlotte will be really raring and ready to go. I don't expect them to win this game outright or anything, but 23, just a little bit rich for my blood. I do like Biff Poggi, who worked with Jim Harbaugh for many years. I think he's a good coach. I think he'll have them ready to go. I think 23 is too much with North Carolina. Down to a second quarterback, not looking great in week 1. I think Charlotte reverses the script and gets it done there. Lastly, the big game, and I kind of cringe to even call this a big game because I really don't like either of these teams. Nebraska versus Colorado, but all of a sudden somehow I'm turning into Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Dion. I never saw that coming, but this line is just outrageous. It was sitting like 3-4 all summer. Now it is 7.5. Based off what? Nebraska beat up on UTEP, a team that is starting already one of the worst teams in FBS, now starting from scratch with a whole bunch of transfers, a new coach. Yeah, congratulations to Nebraska. I'm happy for you. Colorado, it was a little sloppy, but they outgained North Dakota State, a perennial power in the FCS, by 2 yards per play. You saw some of the electricity they have with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. From a talent perspective, with those top 2 guys, at least some NFL guys, they are way higher than Nebraska. I don't necessarily think I'd be high on them winning outright. I wouldn't be on this game if it was still 3 or 4 like it'd be all summer, but where does the extra 4.5 points come from? There's no way this should be over a touchdown. Give me Colorado +7.5 to go with Charlotte +23 and USC -28 as my 3 packs of picks this week on the Vegas Heaters. And I know this is a college football show, but I'm an NFL guy. Can't wait for the NFL. I know you're going to be wanting to bet on Monday Night Football, so take the 49ers. Cut off at 6. I know it's moving right now. You can still get -4. I like San Francisco -4. Don't buy into the Jets hype. Thanks a lot. Vegas Heaters back again next week. I'm leading off our upset best bet segment once again this week, and as far as the upset, it is an easy one for me this week because I wouldn't consider this an upset at all. I don't think Syracuse at home should be an underdog to Georgia Tech. They had a tune-up game last week against Ohio. Up and down, not great, but Georgia Tech has had two pretty tough games now in Ireland, then back home for Georgia State. They're going to take on former Georgia assistant Fran Brown in his second game at the helm at Syracuse. You think he doesn't know how to shut this team down? Give me Syracuse all day. I like them so much that they could be my best bet as well, but I'll give you one more instead. East Carolina -2 going to Old Dominion. Don't fall for what Old Dominion did to South Carolina last week. East Carolina might have the Group of Five's best defensive line, and they got a new high-tempo offense too. Give me East Carolina -2. Now let's see what Terry's got for us.
Thanks, Case. This weekend, the CU Buffs are traveling to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers are picked by about 7.5 points. Unfortunately, as a CU fan, I think that's about right. While CU has what could arguably be the very best quarterback-receiver duo in the nation with Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, the problem is they really don't have much of a running game and even less of a defense. On the other side of the ball, Nebraska is sporting a much improved offensive line, and their new true freshman quarterback, Dylan Raiola, sure looked like a star in last weekend's game. But there will be one CU fan who's a big winner this weekend, and that fan is former CU head coach Bill McCartney. When Bill McCartney took over the CU program in 1982, that program was in shambles. And Coach McCartney said one of his first goals was to establish CU Nebraska as a rivalry. Let me tell you, everybody laughed. That is until CU upset Nebraska in 1989 and then won the national championship in 1990. And now Coach McCartney, this weekend, all I'm hearing is sportscasters calling this the big CU Nebraska rivalry game. So this one is for you, Coach Mack. And now over to you, Legend.
Oh, back at you. The Beatles back together again, K-Dub and the Legend. I like the Hogs to upset Oklahoma State today, and I'm picking Texas to put a foot in Michigan. Who you got, K-Dub?
Well, I'm gonna go with Marshall today. I like Marshall over VTech. You went out there and lost to Vanderbilt. You went out there and lost to Vanderbilt. So I got Marshall covering those 20 points today easily and might get the upset win today.
You heard it right here. The Beatles are back together again. K-Dub and the Legend.
Sons of Saban in the
building.
building.
Sons of Saban in the building. Now let's throw it to another legend, Mr. Tony Curry.
Thank you, Legend. My best bet fell on its face last week. I'm going to the Sun Belt this weekend. I'm taking Arkansas State -7. They got 10 guys coming back on offense. It's a paint the town red weekend in Jonesboro. Birch Jones will have his team ready to go and knock off that Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. And then my dog, I don't even know why I'm taking this team because it should be the other way around. But I'm going to go with Coach Naiwatulolos, brand new San Jose State Sparks. I'm going there +6. They're going against an Air Force squad that went 9-4 last year. They got the majority of their defense coming back. You got San Jose State, 3 guys come back on offense and defense. Something just tells me, though, this line is a stinky, smelly fish. Something's wrong with this line. San Jose State will not only get inside the 6, they're going to win this game outright on the road against Air Force Base. That's my dog. Who you got?
Best bet for Kip Kiefer this week, Boomer Sooner in Norman, Oklahoma. The Houston Cougars come to town with a new coach and very few players left on their roster from last year. They lost at home, meaning Houston, to UNLV in a big way last week. I hate Tony giving up big points. 29 points is the line. I'm gonna hand that over and take Oklahoma minus the 29. I think 45-10, somewhere in that range, should be the score. My upset, Iowa and Iowa State, which is a bitter rivalry and such an interesting, nondescript state. But these guys always have 17-16, 14-10. It's always a defensive struggle. This year, Iowa on paper's rank should be better than Iowa State, but the line's only 2.5 being played in Iowa City. That seems kind of weird to me. There's obviously respect for the Cyclones. Give me Iowa State to upset the 24th ranked Hawkeyes.
What's weird is the line's 2.5, the over-under's 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
So, Tony, wrap us up.
Let's get it going. We got college football all day long. Happy to be on from 10:30 to 11 o'clock every single Saturday morning at ABC 3340. Oklahoma State starts now. Enjoy your weekend.
Woo, pig suey.